I felt like this episode was really crying out for a modern remake of what they've tried to do here, where this episode is in a lot of ways hindered by 90s television capabilities of what you're allowed to show. So like something for this Trip storyline, he can't actually have sex with her, right? But the interesting... You think he could in this?
Yeah, I'm not expecting them to show any hardcore penetration or something.
No, but do you think they would get away? How would they explore that in terms of flaw? Like, I guess my point would be, I feel like in Discovery, which is on a paid access streaming network with constant swearing on it and stuff like that, which is not the point. But if they did a storyline like this, but where Trip did have sex with her and then figures out afterward, like he doesn't know it's Phlox's wife or something, but Phlox is fine with it, but Trip is like guilt-ridden that this has happened. There's a more adult version of the story that I think is actually kind of interesting in a Star Trek way, which is, what are these two cultures? Why does he feel bad if the other culture doesn't care about what he's done? You know what I mean? And there's kind of a neat modern story or neat modern Star Trek tale there. I just feel that this one had to go this direction because it's limited by what you can do in 90 or early 2000s TV on cable networks.
Yeah, I mean, on Discovery, we've already seen a prisoner of war get raped by a Klingon. I think they probably could do a farcical sex comedy if they wanted to. Like if Saru's wife shows up and just licks Stamets, the side of Stamets' face or something. I don't know. You know, honestly, I kind of like the way that they play it. I don't know if it needs to, because I think the reason it works so well for me is because Trip is, you know, the consummate Southern gentleman, and he's not gonna,
Mama raised him good. Mama raised a good boy,
and he's not going to accept any advances from another man's wife. He's not that kind of now. Travis, on the other hand,
right, who had to get kicked in the ribs by a donkey apparently to take him out of the episode,
just so he can't be on the show. Travis would be all over it, but I like the interplay where you have the semi-conservative upbringing type person thrown into an episode of MTV's or HBO's Real Sex or whatever. I like that element of it. I don't think I need it to be that much more explicit or anything. I actually did think about halfway through that they did sleep together, because there's a certain scene where I think it's after Phlox kind of gives him the okay. The next scene with the two of them, I was kind of watching them to see if the play was a little bit different, and I thought it was a little bit different, but it wasn't. It ended up kind of evening itself out.
Yeah.
But because I was thinking, oh well, I mean, could be interesting to see what happens if he's like, hey, well, he said, all right, why not?
Right.
But I like it the way it is. I like the bashful, polite Southern boy being Mrs. Robinson in space.
Yeah. I think it works for Enterprise, which is I guess that's my point. Like, I understand, and I think that they did a good job with that storyline here in the way that Enterprise has to play the story out. And I guess my point is more, when I see stories like this in earlier Star Trek episodes, there's a more like quote unquote adult version of the story that I can see could work in a modern Star Trek context, where modern Star Trek, I think, is kind of inarguably more quote unquote adult. It's trying to be more grown up about things than maybe Enterprise is with this kind of whimsical story.
I'll tell you the main reason why I would want them to update this, especially on Discovery, is because I think they would take it too far. I think they would swing way too far in the other direction and just make it
like it would tear the friendship apart or something, or do you think like
it would probably be more explicit, and it just I think it would just be too much. I think because they have a tendency to dial it up a little bit too much on a lot of these shows now, where it's, you know, there's Old Man Clay talking about it, but when they try to do this like edgy sex stuff, a lot of shows tend to just do it like it's written by a 16-year-old. It's a little bit like, okay, we get it. You got an R rating and it's TV, guys.
Yeah.